Hello all, welcome to the tutorial. So today we'll be seeing how to implement cloud cost optimization inbuilt tool. I would say it's a kind of UI tool where we'll be going through multiple components like front end, back end, and how it will be checking the cost of AWS, my AWS account, and how it will help us to optimize the cost part. So let's get started. And all of these is created using AI agent. So basically, this is the repo where I have pasted all the prompts inside this, and we have the whole flow architecture diagram mentioned here. And this is to mention again, I got the inspiration from Abhishek Veermalla, the YouTuber, where I saw his implementation for Azure, and I just thought of implementing it and testing out with the help of AI agents for AWS use case. So let's get started. How to do that? First, this is the repo where I'll explain the architecture. What we have again for the front end, we are using React. Backend, we are using Python with fast API. For authorization, we are using JWT tokens. Cloud data will be analyzing with the help of AWS CLI commands, and then AI analysis will be doing here with the help of actually Olama. So I just need to update this. I think it's still pointing to OpenAI. I'll just update that to Olama later. Database will be using PostgreSQL. It will be again be a Dockerized one. So this is also not correct. Maybe I'll correct that later. And all the live updates will be fetching with the help of fast API. So now going through the architecture, this is the basic architecture which will be followed by our whole project, which will be built using AI agent, and nothing will see. I will not be editing any other thing. I'll just be prompting, and the agent will set up all those things or the whole tool for us. And the user will be logging into the front end, which will be again created with the help of AI agent. And once you log in, for login also it will ask for a sign up. So you will just sign up and then log in it. So once you log in, the backend will built with Python fast API, and it will be authorized with the help of custom JWT tokens. So what all things it can do, it will be running AWS CLI commands in the backend, exploring the AWS cost with the help of a cost analyzer. So these are the basic commands I have mentioned, which will be used by AWS CLI backend. And then we have the fast API web record, which will show the live updates of the cost explorer, as well as like any resource optimization which needs to be done. So all those things will be taken care here. And then the here also I just need to update actually the Olama. So all these things I'll update later. Actually, I am using Olama instead of API because Olama is a kind of thing which don't require any payment process or any other thing for that, and it's based on the local analysis. So if you have a requirement like you need to analyze locally and you don't want to connect to any other API, you can use Olama for that. So you can research more on that part. Then yeah, all those things will be stored in PostgreSQL. Again, it's not an AWS RDS PostgreSQL, but basically it will be stored in the Docker container, which will be spinning up the PostgreSQL, and it will have the users and the analysis of whatever we have done, so that the history is also there. So and the next is like whenever all the analysis is done, it will show the final report, what are the suggestions, history, etc. All those things will be shown here. And again, the same thing is explained in the flow here. So all these things we are mentioning here because it should be very easy for the agent to run all those things and consider all these things whatever we pass in the prompt. So it is more and more clear, and it doesn't assume things like it can take where it has multiple options and it is choosing one. So all the things we have mentioned here are more kind of declarative to use this and this kind of things, but otherwise need by a project. So this is what I have again mentioned. You can just go through these things again. Okay, cool. So all the prompts are inside this prompt directory. So this is the first part where the prompt is again to build the fast API component with the AWS CLI. And basically again we have mentioned the project structure, which should be there is a backend folder. Inside that it should have the main.py, and then AWS actually it should be AWS scanner, and then there's the requirement.txt is the where is the all the modules which are required, it will be listed here. So if you see all those things, I have mentioned one by one, like it should be fast API should serve with post request with API analyze, and it should ask for region, like which is the region in AWS where you want to analyze. Then API regions will endpoint will be exposed and will return all the listed services on the AWS regions. Then again, it will run the cost analysis with the help of CLI, AWS CE, get cost and usage to determine the services currently being incurred charges and how to optimize that for the billing cycles. And again, I have given an example like it should go and do like easy to describe instances for RDAs, etc., etc. So this is kind of sample to help others, help the agent understand how to do the analysis one by one and for what are the resources. So it is not getting confused, and we are just giving a definite picture which we have in our mind, or we have a kind of map in our mind which we want to do. So we are just trying to explain. So the more clarity we give, it will give more and more clear output. And then if we are providing the error handling, like if AWS is not able to connect with CLI, what are the errors it should be listing that. And then the courses should be enabled. So all those things I have mentioned. So we'll just go with the raw report. I'll just copy, and this is my cursor, a very powerful IDE with the agentic things configured. Again, I purchased the pro version because I tried with the free one, but I think it's not able to complete the whole POC. So I just had to go ahead and purchase so that I understand like what is the capability of this cursor and what it can do. So here, once you open the project, so it's just a kind of normal API. You can just go file open, and here you can load the your project. So I've loaded already. I'll just pass the first prompt. And again, I'll replace wherever we have Azure with AWS. And again, we can see the agent is being invoked from here. There are a couple of other options. So I've just gone with the Apple agent option. And this is the lowest one I am using. You can go with auto. So it will be auto selecting whichever is needed for its use case. You can go one by one, whichever model you want to use, you can use that. So I'm using the lowest composer model, which should be able to do our task for today. And we can see the agent has started its work, and if you see the folder structure for the backend is created, whatever we mentioned, it has created a virtual environment for Python, and it is started inputting whatever things are needed for that, and the cache, etc. And we can see this is the by AWS scanner.py, where what it is doing is basically importing all the modules, and then it is providing the service scanner dictionary where it is mapping. If you see Elastic Cloud Compute having EC2 volumes, EC2 IPs, etc. Then RDS is RDS. So all those things services are mapped. If you see anything missing, you can add here or you can remove from here from this dictionary. So these all things, I mean, it is taken care by our agent itself directly. If you go to the main.py, again, main.py is the main file where all the files will be called, or this is the main program where everything will be mentioned. You can see this is like allowing the course and all these things here. And this is our retirement.txt. So whatever is required, fast API unicorn, it is mentioning one by one and still in progress. So it will update it soon with all the required things. In the meanwhile, let me go to our repo and we'll go to second prompt, which is open API analysis. Again, this is like it should be Olama. So I'll just edit that later. Let's go to the raw part. If you see again, there may be few references of Azure which I'll have to edit because I just again copied this for trying out from the Abhishek Virmala's project. So once it should be fine actually, it will work because I'll just play with Azure with AWS, but for clarity I'll just edit these portions later. For now we'll just go with our changes from here. So now what second part is doing is it will do the open API integration. So basically this is the Olama integration for the cost analysis. These are all the prompts we have mentioned, like it should give the provide an update with the API analyze. You can go through the prompts, and if you see at the last section, I also mentioned in the backend like what all files should be there, what should be updated here, and then it is also referring to like always go through the architecture.md and request.flow, which will be mentioning what all things it will be committing. So basically, we are completing the fifth and sixth step. So fifth and sixth step means if you go here, Python executes CLI describe this sub process for going through the CLI for the active services of AWS. Then again, it is fast API for getting the live updates of the active and active components. So all those things it will cover in this second prompt. So if you go here, Go to raw, copy the same, go to cursor. So by now this is finished. If you see, it is create the virtual environment, install all the dependencies, and it has verified the imports. And how you can run this locally. So it has given all the steps for now. So we'll not run all those things as of now. So again, you can see all the error handling it has handled. Like if the CLI is not installed, it will throw this error. Credentials not configured, this error. All these things it has taken care. If you want to see the endpoint, so endpoint it is exposing it with API regions, API analyze. So all those things are here. So let's go with the second prompt. Okay, so this part is also executed. So let's go to the third prompt. Now this is about the PostgreSQL which it will be creating. So it will connect to the PostgreSQL and running PS5 cop G2 or async CPG, which will store the database. I mean, those the database string and all which we need for the program. It will show in the .env file. And then it will map or creating the two tables, which is users with the one we register for the front end page, ID, email, password, etc. It will store that in the users table. Then the analysis, the whole analysis done for the estimated savings or what were the issues, what was the report, it will create the analysis table. So this is the basic. Again, we have mentioned how it should create in the backend, main.py, user scanner, all those files should be there. Now it will create one more file called db.py, which will be having the connection, how to connect to the DB and then table creation and those things, and also update the requirement.txt with the updated packages required or the modules required. And then in the env file, we'll add the database URL. And again, we have mentioned like go through the architecture and the first product.md for covering the required steps, which is 4 and 6. So I'll just go to the raw file, copy it, and you can see it has selected the Llama 3.2 model. If you want any other model, you can just specify that. We can also see the db.py is created. The whole thing it is created from scratch, and I didn't mention a single line of code. How to connect to DB, what all tables to create. So all those code is created by itself. Okay, so this is also done, and it's also given a prompt where how to connect to the DB. All those things are provided here. And again, database URL is added. If you go to the .env file, database URL is here, which is provided here. So all those things is also done. Let's go to the fourth part. So now the fourth part is creating the front end page, which is with the help of JWT token. Will be using sign up. So once the page is ready, we'll use this post API or sign up. Once the sign up is there, we will fill our email ID with credentials, and then we will post that. Again, we have another post ticket where we'll be logging in the credentials where our credentials will be validated and it will be written in the JWT. And again, this is the page, like what are the pages, it should be there. So in the front end, I mentioned a couple of pages, login, sign up, dashboard, those kind of pages. All the information is provided here. Again, we are mentioning, like always we are mentioning to refer our architecture and request flow MD, so that it is clearly mentioning to the AI agent what all things it is building and how the architecture should look like. So it is not confused, and it has more clarity on again whatever it is doing. So we'll just go with the raw, copy paste the same. Okay, so finally we can see our whole backend is also built, and it has updated the JWT and all those things in the env file. And we can see it is given all the steps, whatever we need to do for running our front-end application. So all those things are done. Now the next part which is pending is integrating. So integrating the whole front-end, back-end, database, etc. So this is the prompt for that. Again, what we are doing is when the integration is done, it should be able to run the analysis, and that will be happening with the help of API analyze. And then there should be other components like API history, region, etc. What should be the fast API using so that it is able to provide us the required functionality. Then in the WebSocket progress, we can just mentioning like how the progress will be shown. So this is with the help of this ID, and then history report should be there. It will be using JWT report display, how it will show like estimated monthly, yearly savings. So all those things are. And finally, this is the flow. It will be like once you sign up, you log in, you select the AWS region, then you run the Cost Explorer. you will see the live progress with the report with CLI, how to fix all those things. And it will always refer to the architecture diagram, whatever we have mentioned. So let's go ahead. I'll just go with the raw and just paste. So I'll just follow the process, whatever it has mentioned. Okay, seems the application startup has failed. So let me paste the error. Basically, we'll not try to do anything extra. We'll just ask it to fix it. Okay, let's do the same. Whatever it has recommended. I'll just go to this folder. Okay, we'll run the Docker Compose in daemon mode. Okay, now the Docker is not running. That is actually for running all the things over Docker. We need to have Docker desktop, or you need to install Docker daemon or other related products. So I'm using Docker desktop. So once it comes up, we'll run that again. Cool, this is there. So I'll just go ahead and run this again. So this is done. I just go to backend, activate the virtual environment, and then I will reload the page. Okay, seems we have another order, so I'll just cut and paste it here. Okay, now I think the application startup is complete and it is asked to open the. Will provide the same errors again here for it to resolve. Okay, so we can see now our page is ready. I'll just expand it in a bigger browser. So okay, and here it is. We need to sign up one because I don't have any credentials, so we'll just go with create one. Again, there is some error, so I'll just post it to cursor. There's bad request. So let's fix that. So let me go again. Okay, and we can see the cost analysis dashboard is present here. This is my login. If I go to, so these are all the regions it is showing here. So if we go to South 1 and run the analysis, again it says fail to connect to Postgres. So let me pass this again. Seems this is done, so I'll just go ahead. Again, I'll refresh. Now it is displaying all those things, regions and all those things, and it will be able to fetch the data because I've already set the AWS credentials in my home environment or home directory. So if I go to AP South 1, this is actually the Mumbai region. Just run analysis, and we can see the live progress unavailable. So it will start with the analysis soon. So now, what I mean with the AWS setup is, if you see AWS S3 LS, I'll be able to see this command runs perfectly, and it has this bucket. So that means my AWS credential is already set up, and I have set that up. If you go to home folder AWS, so you can see my credentials is already set up. If you don't know how to set up the AWS credentials, maybe just run through some Google or maybe ChatGPT, or you can just use AWS configure. It will ask you for setting the credentials. So we are not discussing that part here. And Ulama is not running because it is it's not able to install that, and it is looking for the docs, and it is using Homebrew to install that. And all this is because the prompts were missing in somewhat. We just need to update, or even if you don't have, you can just pass it here and it will do the task for you. Okay, so we can see, I mean, once I given the error of this prompt, it has fixed that issue. If I run the run license again, cool. We can see it has run the analysis and it shows issues. So scan 0, issues found 0, estimate 0, 0, 0. All those things are 0. And we can see the history here. So Next, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and create some resources and leave it running, and then we'll analyze this. Okay, so for our demo, I spin up an EC2 instance, and it is a micro instance. This is the micro instance which is running Nginx and exposed to the whole world to open the Nginx page. Apart from that, I also created one DynamoDB table. So let's see whether this can help to optimize from our dashboard created or with the help of AI agent. So I'll just select AP South one and run analysis. We just started the analysis. In the meantime, I'll just show you that I have already created the EC2 instance. So this is the dashboard. Okay, I think we are in Singapore region. I'll just switch to Mumbai, South one, and we can see the EC2 instances there. So this is the one which I created in the meantime. Running the t3.micro, my test is the name. FI is the instance ID. So let's check. Still the evaluation is still going on. So if you just grab this IP and put over internet, you should see the Nginx page running. So let it scan and run the model and give the analysis, and then we'll go through that. Okay, cool. So we can see the dashboard is created and it says total account cost globally is $18.45 in US. This is my account. This is from the Mumbai region. We selected. These are all are the regional spends. This is the unutilized one, and then the confidence score is 75%. So all this training is going on, and even if you select some other model, maybe it will give very good results. But I'm using the free Olama one, and this is what we can achieve. This monthly saving was $45 and 540 yearly. So let's see more details. Like this is my bill for the past few months, and then these all are the services I've used where it has been charged accordingly. So it displays all the things in a very clear and minute manner. And then it says no spend in this region. So this is what it has given. Like in Singapore, I spend the most. Then no region or global region is 1.452, and it is USD is 0.16. The same is over the summary. So it says like in the summary that I have two optimization opportunities which can save me around $45 per month, and it is in the AP South one region, Mumbai. So let's see what are the underutilized resources. So it says my test is the one, the instance which I created. It says 0.7% CPU utilization is there for the last 14 days, and that's why it's asking to stop or terminate the instance or downsize to so that it is saved. And this is what it says for this is the reason it is saying like it will be costing $600 for me. I'm almost at $50 per month for me. So that is how I can save it by terminating it, because it may be idle instance or it's very low CPU utilization one. So I can downsize that or reduce that. So let me ask it. I think it didn't find the DynamoDB because of the. So I'll just ask the same over my cursor agent. So this DynamoDB I just created sample actually in AWS, and the one which is running over here for our POC with the agent is here. In the meanwhile, I can show that. So if you see the process here, cost detective DB, this is our PostgreSQL DB, which is from our prompt it is created. So this is a different one, and this one I have just created for in AWS for so that the AI agent should explore that and let us know whether it will cost or not, or do an analysis on that. And previously we can see it is also modified the OLAMA, because OLAMA we don't require any key because it's so locally hosted and it is freely available. So it has committed all the things which is not required and only kept the host where we have installed, and the model name is Llama 3.2 and fallback is true. Now it is also mentioning like will it cost money or not. It's essentially no, because DynamoDB again storage is zero as of now. Whatever is discovered from the cost explorer, at rest with this is $0. Data request is also not there. Storage is almost zero, so that's why it says there is no cost associated with that. So once we start reading writing, maybe it will incur the charges. Again, this is the reason basically it is given. So let me again do a scan. So I'll just go with AP South one and I'll just do the analysis. So we can see again now it has detected the DynamoDB as we instructed, but again there is no cost because there is no request or there is no storage request. Not much storage is there, and it's just lying around like that, and there is no read write request being there, so it is also good. So it says with 90% confidence, so this is fine. EC2 is the major thing. So that's it for the POC part, and we saw how easy it is to create the front end, back end, do the analysis, and all those things is done by the agent. And we have not written a single line of code. Maybe actually we have to do little bit tweaking of here and there. We have whatever the issues we face, we have to mention those things in the cursor to the agent, and it has by itself healed those things. Now, if you see with the second run, now the confidence score is 80%. So that's how it will do the training, and the confidence score would increase slowly. If you use high-end model, maybe the confidence will be very high in the beginning itself. So thank you for joining me in understanding the AI agent and how it can be used, and how uh, we can use to create different kinds of agents for our different kinds of internal tool setup.